Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Rayhan Alim. I'm the managing partner of an accounting firm called Alpha Pro Partners. Today, I'm excited to introduce you to Lucian and Harry. They are from the software called Joiin. That's Joiin with two I's in there. And we're a big fan of their software. We use them for our clients. We use them mainly for consolidating entities, but they can also consolidate single entities as well. And the reason why we like them is because when we were using it for our clients, one thing that we were able to do is see the numbers, and they were quite accurate. And we have some clients that have multiple currencies as well. And so we feel as if, they'll be good for, our clients and people who we work with. So I'll introduce you to Lucian now, who can talk a little bit about the software. And then Harry will then do a formal demo of the software, and then we'll have Q&A at the end. So thank you very much. I do remind everyone, if you can just put yourselves on mute, and then you can please ask your questions in the chat box. And we'll take it from there. So Lucian, if you want to give us an introduction about yourself and brief introduction about your journey.
Thank you. So hi everybody, thanks for joining. We're Joiin, and we've been around for just in our third year now, and we formed on the basis of realizing that a lot of companies struggled with consolidation, especially using cloud software. So if you're using Xero or QuickBooks Online or Sage Online, they only come as a sort of single entity version. So we realized that there was a huge pain point for customers who wanted to consolidate across multi-entities, multi-companies. So we produced Joiin to really tackle that pain point and provide a really ease and simple way of delivering consolidated reporting. We really went into production fully in 2019. And now serve about 10,000 customers globally. And we have some very large entities using multi-transactional, multi-entity, multi-currency environments. However, we've also just recently been looking at how we provide single entity. So, we've got a number of accountants now who don't just use it from a multi-entity perspective, but also from a single entity perspective. And so Harry will be showing you some of those features in a second. So look, I think we'll jump into the product. We'll give you a good product overview. If you've got any questions, please save them up and we'll have a chat at the end, and we'll do our best to answer those. And we've also got an offer. If anybody wants to do a trial and look at the software, we've got an offer of a discount post this webinar. Over to you, Harry.
I'm Harry, and I'm the Customer Success Manager of Joiin, and I'll kind of take you a bit of a run through of Joiin and some of the features and some of the things that you can do within our consolidated reporting app. I'll just share my screen one moment, and then we will begin. Okay, just a quick thumbs up from Rayhan if you can see my screen correctly. Lovely. Okay, I'll start. So when you open up Joiin for the first time, you'll be asked to load at least one company to begin your reporting. And that will kind of redirect you to the Xero, QuickBooks, Sage secure login site. You sign in with a username and password, and then Joiin will begin to pull your data from there. You can then continue to add additional companies, and all pricing is based on the number of companies associated with your account. Using this little add company button up here, you click add company, and it will give you the option of which source you're going to be taking the data from. So you've got QuickBooks, Xero, Sage, or if you've got an outside software, you can bring it in via a CSV file, which indeed many of our users do. We, by default, refresh your data every 24 hours. However, if you want to trigger a manual refresh at any point, you can do that at the group level with the refresh all here, or by the individual company. You can click on this little three dot here, and you can refresh the data like so. And that will give you kind of a live feed of the data. To navigate throughout Joiin, quite like you do in Xero, you have this kind of this dashboard here, and I will start by going through some of the more configurable kind of settings-based menus down here, and then we'll move on to some of the actual reporting and show you what that can do. So we have here the chart of accounts. So this is kind of a standard chart of accounts here, and it'll just take one moment to load up. So you have all the basic information about each account within your subscription. So you have the codes that you might be using from Xero, the account name, and then how Joiin classifies and does the consolidation. and then the company that the account is associated with. If you want to eliminate any accounts of kind of intracompany loans or balances, you scroll through, or you can filter by account name as a search option, click eliminate, and Joiin will remove them from your reports. I will quickly go on to budgets as well. So by default, Joiin will pull in all your budgets, all your overall budgets from Xero, and they will be displayed here or any other accounting software. You can then also create a consolidated budget or a single entity budget within Joiin using this Add Joiin Budget feature. When you click on there, we'll provide you with a template that has your full chart of accounts to save kind of excessive data input on your behalf. And it's all very simple just to plug in there. And we have kind of a full comprehensive guide on how to do this on our support website. So next, I'll move into some of the out-the-box financial reports. You have your trial balance, your balance sheet, your cash flow, and your profit and loss. And then next, I'll move on to some more of the customizable reports and reporting packs. So we'll open up a profit and loss. Okay, and then so this box at the top here is your kind of filtering option, and this is where you can choose what will be displayed within your report. So I will show you first a single entity report, and then I'll show you how you build up into a consolidated group report. So you can see here that there's the companies drop down, and you've got the select all, deselect all options. And here I've just selected one report. I've run this report previously, and this is now a single entity report. However, as we kind of specialize in consolidation, I will now show you how you build up into the consolidated report. So you click on the companies drop down again, and then you go and find the companies you'd like to report on. So in this case, I'm going to do a 2-company group of Rose Garden and Denon. And I'll now run the report, and at just a click of a button, Joiin will consolidate your accounts and create a group report. I'll now show you some of the different ways that you can tinker with the report to show different things. So you have multi-currency options, which obviously have been very necessary with multi-company consolidation, particularly across different territories. You've got a list of every active currency here, and you can scroll down and anything you want to report on. I'm going to choose the British pound for this instance. A quick kind of side note, by default, we pull in the exchange rate data from the openexchange.org. However, if you want to customize exchange rates or match exchange rates from outside software, such as Xero with exe.com, you can go into the settings menu up here, click on the exchange rates, and you plug in your own exchange rates there. You then also have the option to change the report period, so the period of time that the report is displaying. I'll quickly show you the budget toggle that we have in Joiin. So I alluded earlier how you bring budgets into Joiin, and this is how you display them on reports. And you have your budget figure here, your distance from budget above or beyond, if it's below, it'll be in red, and then your budget variance as well. I'll remove that. If you'd like to see your budgets in a columnar view, like you would in Excel or some other reporting packages, you can download to Excel, and they will then be displayed in their own separate column, as opposed to the easier to view underneath, as we have in Joiin. So now draw attention to the compare option here. This is how you kind of customize the view of what is on your report. So you have the compare by none option, which will give you a consolidated total. You have the by company option, which will give you each company within the group in their own separate column, and then the consolidated total in the final column. Or you have the 2 previous period option if you'd like to see some time series data, and you can choose the number of periods you'd like to compare. So I've got 1 here. So this is a consolidated group for January 21, and then the consolidated group for December 20. If you're a Xero user or QuickBooks user, you have categories or classes. They can also be displayed within Joiin. If you click on a company that has categories or classes available, you can then do the by category option, run the report. And like so, you now have each category within your report here in the columnar view. You also have some options for way of kind of exporting your data. So you can download to Excel for further formatting, or to view in a different way, like I mentioned with the budgets. You can download your reports to PDF or print to paper. And then you have these 2 options here, which I'll touch on now and then come back to in a moment. So you have the option to add any report that you've run to a report pack, which are kind of like management style, investor style reporting packs that are kind of a bit prettier than they are displayed on the desktop version of Joiin. And then you can also create a custom report based off one of your standard reports. I will very quickly touch on some of our sales reports here, which also are accessible via this kind of menu option. So you've got the sales by company, sales by customer reports. And again, as with every report within Joiin, you're given the option to choose which company you'd like to run the report for. And I'll just run that one moment. And then you're given the sales by customer report here. And you're able to drill down to kind of the first line of invoice. So you're given invoice date, invoice number, and amount due. And this kind of, so that's the sales by customer. And then I'll move on to one of the aging reports. I'll show you the AP aging. And this gives you the option to view either a single entity or a consolidated view of the value of the outstanding invoices on your account. You're able to change the date it's reported from and your aging periods and number of periods, and also currency as well. And again, as I mentioned earlier, you can add any of these reports to a report pack or download. You can also click on the view by company, and this will give you the company breakdown. I'll now go into the customer reports, which is kind of where you can get most of the value out of Joiin and where indeed most of our users navigate to do their reporting. And this allows you to kind of tailor your reports to meet exactly your reporting requirements. So for instance, we have users who like to view reports that are purely revenue reports. You can do that. Or if you're kind of a non-profit and there's certain revenue items you're not looking to report on, you can also remove them from your reports using the custom reporting. When you create a custom report, you're given one of these free options to use as a template. So you've got a profit and loss, balance sheet, cash flow. I will click on one that I've kind of created earlier, a more mature report, just to show you some of the functionality that's available to you. Right, okay, so again, the custom reports look exactly the same in the normal reporting options. And I will deselect these and use my demo companies again, which have more kind of comprehensive data. So you have this is standard P&L with some kind of adjustments made to it, which I'll run through some of the options. So you've got grouping options. So you can kind of segment your data and create your own custom group. You can then embed up to 2 levels. So here I've separated out my head office expenses from my general expenses to view those. You then have formula options. So here I have a formula where 50% of all head office expenses are being paid by an agency, and I've used the formula option to display this. And when you hover over a formula, it will tell you how that formula is kind of created. And then finally, you have some charting options. So you can view your data in chart form, and we have the option of kind of donut charts, bar charts, and line charts. And you're able to kind of drag and drop and collapse and expand all your data, kind of give you a more simplistic view, or if you want to have a bit of a drill down and look at individual line items, you can do so. Now, kind of finally, I'll move into the report packs here. And this is kind of, like I mentioned earlier, a management style report pack. I'll click on that one and open it up. You have options to view these reports in PDF format as well. So I'll quickly show you. So you can download a PDF like here if you want to distribute around the business. However, I'll show you in the desktop version. So you have your report pack title here, and then the ability to kind of download to Excel or to print PDF. I'll scroll down to the contents page. So you've got a fully hyperlinked contents page where you click on and it'll drag you down to the report. However, because I've only got 4 reports in this report pack, I'll just kind of use my cursor. So you may have noticed that there was a KPI report, which I didn't highlight earlier. That's because I have it in this report pack, and it probably makes sense to show you in here. So these are 10 standard KPIs that Joiin provides to you, which are kind of like key performance and kind of business health metrics. If you hover over them, Joiin will also tell you how these have been created. We are in the not too distant future looking to bring in kind of customizable KPIs and non-financial related KPIs as well. You also have the option to add kind of what can be an executive summary or commentary for your reports here. So you can see this text here. And then also with KPIs as standard, you have the option to have some charting on those as well. And the report pack is just a bit of a prettier way of displaying the data that we have in Joiin. So I'll quickly highlight some of the different things that you can do within custom reporting again, as kind of dictated to us by some of our customers actually. We have what was once a P&L, but it's been stripped right down. So it's now purely a report showing revenue items with budgets. So we have the budgeted line here, revenue performance, and then budget figures. And then this is a very simplistic view, but you're then able to collapse and view the full revenue items of the P&L. And then alternatively, we have purely expenses. So this, we have some charting options, which I highlighted earlier. You're able to hover over these charts and it'll give you some information, and you have a legend here on the left-hand side. And then we have some kind of segmented groups. We've got the expenses group. We've got a view of the total expenses versus that of the staff expenses, and then some other customizable groups here, which have been kind of collapsed for a more simplistic view. And then finally, down here, we have the custom report that I previously showed you, the monthly reporting P&L. So that kind of concludes a bit of a whistle-stop tour of Joiin. And so I'll stop sharing my screen now, and we'll take any questions that anyone has. We'd kind of love to answer them, if that's okay.
Thank you very much, Harry, and that was really informative. Just out of interest, obviously that's a lot of information that you provided, but if anyone who's attended needs to have like a one-to-one with you, you're able to provide that and show them how to get the most out of your software, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of as standard, we provide a demo to anyone that wants one. That can be to you, or if you have clients who'd also then in a later date like to have demo, we're more than happy to do so, all kind of free of charge and as part of the kind of customer service that Joiin provides. We have kind of like a two-pronged approach to customer service. So we have when you're live on Joiin, you have a chat bot. You can kind of ask live questions to anyone in the support team. And then also you have kind of a more technical based support ticketing process via Freshdesk, where you can ask for some more kind of more support.
The other question I had and myself is, whenever we test out new apps, we always take one step at a time. So first thing we would do is just join it together and make sure, you know, the P&L matches and the balance sheet matches. But you know, if, for example, some of the attendees here try your product and they've done that and they want to go to the next step and try to build a management report, they can obviously come to you at a later stage and get some support from that point of view. Yeah. I mean, you've been really helpful with us as well when we've asked you questions.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So yeah, we're happy to kind of handhold you through the whole process and really support you, make sure that Joiin is right for you. And we offer kind of report builds or kind of extensive demos, or kind of we can always just be on hand. If you have some questions about the way Joiin works, we're more than happy to assist you there. Touching on that very quickly, we offer kind of a 14-day trial as standard. However, we're more than happy to extend as and when, because we know kind of time is precious, and more often than not, people ask for an extension. We're happy to extend for ongoing weeks to kind of make sure that Join's right for you.
Sorry, I think it's just important to say as well that we will provide full support during the trial. So you don't need to be a paying subscriber to receive our full support. So that comes as all part of the trial version as well.
As we've got quite a nice little group, and I recognize some of the people here. I mean, maybe you guys have a few specific questions. I know, Khalil, you deal with the chain of restaurants, right? I remember you asking me about a consolidation tool for your business. So do you have any specific questions that you have for Harry or for Lucian?
Yes, I have the questions regarding the consolidation report. As I have the multi-organization, so I want to be, right now I was doing the manually reporting. For this ones, I want to be consolidated report for all of my companies here. So that is very difficult for me. Is that help for me? So I'm ready to be started with that.
Harry, I mean, I know Khalil quite well. They have a chain of restaurants in Dubai, and they're using Xero for all of the chains of restaurants, and he's doing the consolidation manually. So he's obviously pulling out the P&L balance sheet on Excel and adding all of the reports together. So I've used it, and I can vouch for it being quite a good product. But can you give us a few highlights of how you make it easy for accountants like Khalil who can save a bit of time using your product?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So by default, we'll pull all your data in from, I'll use your instance Xero. So Joiin maps all of your kind of data from Xero, your chart of accounts, as standard. And when it pulls it into Joiin, we'll automatically map and consolidate based on the kind of account coding that you have back in Xero. So we always say, as a bit of a gimmick, Lucy and I, when we're running these demos, that in the time it takes to take this demo, you could be up and running on Joiin and have pulled in all your data and actually be running your own reports. And it's kind of that simple. It's all one click, and it's all kind of reliable data, as you kind of vouched for us previously.
I just wanted to add, we've got customer testimonials who have been using Excel on a long-term basis to consolidate, and have said that they are saving now 3 or 4 days a month on the monthly consolidation. So what would typically take them a week is now taking them, it's under a couple of hours really. I mean, unless you're doing some different reporting in customer reports, the standard reporting is really, it's a click of a button. So yeah, terrific savings available. So and customers who have given us really strong testimonials to vouch for that as well.
We've also got Evan, who's a coach of mine. So Evan, you're the CFO in this room. So do you have any questions that you that would make it useful for you, for your organization?
Yes, no. I mean, I missed the initial part of the presentation. Can you just update me? Was the mapping otherwise done, and the elimination entries, were those handled at all?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So they were kind of covered, like you say, at the beginning of the presentation. I'll start with the eliminations. That's all managed within the chart of accounts page. You go and find the eliminations yourself. And
Harry, do you want to share your screen and show how it works? I mean, I think that'd be quite good just to visualize it, because it's really easy to do. So
yeah, absolutely. Can I get a thumbs up again that you can see my screen?
Yep. You can see. Yep.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so in terms of the chart of accounts and eliminations, it's as simple as navigating to this chart of accounts section here, finding the accounts you'd like to be eliminated, making sure they correspond to the correct companies, and then clicking eliminate. And then you have some kind of further customization within Joiin, so you can set your reports so you have eliminated values shown on your reports, and that's all within the kind of.
Want to just show the setting, Harry?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, so that's you go into reporting configuration here, and then under the eliminations section, you can show the option. So you show your eliminations in a separate column.
It looks like these are they dynamic, or is this like investment kind of eliminations?
So in terms of eliminations, it's purely a removal of the account. So you have to ensure that they contra correctly in their kind of source, in the source software in Xero.
Okay, so there's no check and balance. Like, so you don't have two TVs sitting side by side, and there's like an additional journal entry that goes through.
No, at the moment, it's purely a removal of the eliminated accounts. However, that's something that's very much on our roadmap, and it's kind of something that's quite often brought to our attention that is something that would be nice to have. So it will be coming soon.
Yeah, Evan, so we've got a big piece of work going on with eliminations at the moment. So picking up some of the point you just raised.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
So I guess
elimination is always a nasty one, particularly when you have moving values, between months.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and then you also mentioned mapping, I believe it was. So by default, Joiin maps based on kind of the classifications within Xero, mm-hmm. and there's kind of a full guide on how Joiin maps your accounts. That's available on our kind of like support software, support desk, sorry, should I say. But also within the custom reports, you're able to do your kind of your own mapping and create groups and customize. If you, for instance, had like a non-homogeneous chart of accounts, for instance, if there was some kind of language variation which was causing your chart of accounts not to match in terms of namings, you can manage those within chart of accounts.
And what about differences in the profit centers? Are those supposed to be more homogeneous than not?
Sorry, could you repeat that one? I didn't, it cut out.
No problem. The departments, because you actually showed there was a departmental, but there's also the segmentation sort of space. Those would be, I suppose, categories in Xero.
Yeah.
And would those need to be fairly homogeneous across all your entities?
Yeah. So if you want them to consolidate, they will need to be homogeneous across all your entities, else they'll appear as unassigned.
Okay, cool. I would. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks for that, Evan and Harry. I guess just to tie up with that question, I guess if there's going to be any eliminations, then you have to post it. If there's any adjustments, you'll have to post it into the actual entity and not on the consolidation, correct?
Yes.
At this time, yeah.
Okay. That's fine. Any other questions? I know that we've got LiveSync, who they're also a Xero partner. I'm sure you guys would want to get introduced to them. LiveSync, is there any questions that you have for Harry and Lucian? Okay.
One other question I have, what about multiple currencies? I don't know if you actually covered that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So multi-currencies are absolutely handled within Join, and that's kind of, again, two-pronged. So we have, whenever you run a report within Join, this box appears. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what point you entered the demo. So I'll give a very brief overview.
I actually saw the screen, so
okay, right.
I wasn't too late.
So when you run a report, you have the option for which currency you'd like to display in. And by default, we use the rates from the openexchange.org. However, particularly relevant for you Xero users out there, you can also manually enter the exchange rates you'd like to be seen within Join in the settings menu up here. So if you wanted to mirror, for instance, xe.com, you can do so as well. And we are also looking to kind of automatically pull in xe.com data in the future to kind of work more seamlessly with our Xero users.
Okay, so the other question so far, the currency translation space and the balance sheet as at each month's date, that's actually not recorded. So everything's converted as at the reporting date. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, so you've got options for at which point. So you can customize on each report status at which point the currency conversion is done. And that, again, is all within the reporting configuration menu.
I mean, very nice. Looks very powerful.
Evan, we'd love you to come and have a trial and give us some honest feedback. That'd be great.
A few other questions I had, obviously from you mentioned you do multiple entities, and not everyone has multiple entities, and maybe sometimes we run a report in Xero, P&L balance sheet report, but you might want to add a few more bits and pieces to it and make it a little bit more dynamic. Now, Joiin is very cost effective, obviously. And if, for example, someone had a boss or someone's working in an accounting firm and they had a client who needed more information from the existing data, which they can't get from Xero, I'm assuming you can do that as well?
Yes.
Do you want me to answer that?
Yeah.
We've really just now launched out report packs, and we've really now focused on not just delivering multi-entity reporting, but also single entity. And a couple of examples are, yes, we've got some accounting firms now on board that run a sort of more report pack environment for a single entity reporting. So, you can build those up and send them on to single customers with one company. But we've also got some really interesting use cases around things like non-profit. And non-profit, the entity might not need to have all the revenue items are taxable or even need to be declared. So you can use the custom reporting to report on those non-entity environments, on those non-profit environments, and then push that into report pack. So yeah, we're very much expanded the product now to support both single entity reporting and, of course, our stock position, which is a consolidation.
Thank you very much. I'm not getting any more questions. Does anyone else have any more questions that they have? Harry, Lucian, if you guys have anything that you want to add that maybe haven't been covered today, that'd be quite good as well.
And nothing else from me other than we mentioned at the beginning, we are really keen for people to come and trial the product. We don't have any obligations around trial. We're fully covered from a data protection perspective, and we don't require any credit card whatsoever. So you can come and trial the product, come and use the product. We'll give you full support from a professional services perspective and from a technical perspective. And we love feedback. We are constantly improving the product, and we do that by working really closely with our customers. So we do really value customer interaction, customer feedback.
Thank you very much. Got another question from Evan. So are budgets in Xero pulled into from Xero into Joiin as well?
Yes. Yeah, it's a simple answer. We by default pull in your overall budgets straight from Xero.
Okay, which means so nothing's actually stored in, or at least developed in Joiin itself. So it just pulls everything from the underlying systems.
Yes, but you are also able to create your own consolidated budgets within Joiin.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
What about KPIs in terms of non-financial measures? Can you record those in Join, or would you rely on that from the underlying system?
They are a roadmap item. We are intending in the next 2 quarters we've been doing, so working back a bit, we've done some proof of concept around bringing in non-financial operational data. And in the next 2 quarters, we're looking at launching out a beta product which does that. But the answer is not at the moment, but very much on our roadmap.
Okay. And in terms of data source, does it have to be an accounting system like Xero, or could you use something like Excel? That may have already been covered. The reason I'm asking is for the food and beverage space, you have covers, which is a non-financial measure. And one of the key KPIs for restaurants is, your average cover per day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, not so currently we have an unplugged version, which is Excel, so CSV Excel, so you can bring in data. But when we move into operational KPIs, we've been working with a company who use Restaurant 365, and they've been asking the same question. So we're thinking of, in the beta version, having an upload facility. So yeah, as you said, Excel or CSV, but also producing an API. So having an API that you could request as well, or upload data into via an API if needed.
Nice. Cool. Thank you.
Cool.
We have another question from Nadine, and she's asking which KPIs can be viewed. So Harry, do you mind just going into the report where you were showing your KPIs, just so she can have another look?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
The different KPIs.
Yeah, so here's the kind of the 10 standard KPIs that Joiin provides, and you're able to kind of hover over them, and that will tell you how they're calculated.
Now, I remember you saying that you could do formulas as well. So I'm assuming, let's say you had revenue and you had advertising costs, and you wanted to work out a ratio between revenue and advertising costs. You can do that as well, right?
Yeah, no, all very simply within the custom reports. So,
okay.
I'll show you very briefly how that comes about. And so I'll show you.
So just whilst Harry's doing that, out the box, we provide the 10 standard KPIs just out the box, and it's off the shelf stuff. And then, as Harry's going to show you, if you want to get a bit more creative with a KPI, you can do exactly what you just asked, Rehan, and Harry's going to show you now.
Okay, just to keep things nice and simple, I'll use these two data points, revenue and cost of sales, to create a formula. Also, that has no accounting means, but just for kind of ease, for demo purposes. So when you are in the back end of custom report, you've got these options. So it would be as simple as new formula, and then you've got some options to kind of hide the formula, which way you'd like the formula presented, so numerical, financial, or as a percentage. And then you just select the data series you'd like to be within. So I'll take revenue. You've got the options add, subtract, multiply, divide, and then I'll choose the second group option of cost of sales. And then that has created a formula there that will be displayed as a line item. And you can then also, using this three dot menu, you can embed it or move it around the custom report to put it in a different place. And I'll just very quickly show you how that would look when I run the report. So here we are. This is how the formula could be presented. And then you could also embed it within a different group.
Curveball question. So you've got 3 data points. You've got Sage, QuickBooks, and Xero. So if I've got 3 different clients and they want to consolidate, and then they're using different softwares, whether it's QuickBooks, Xero, and Sage, I can pull them together and create my consolidated report, can't I?
Yeah, absolutely. Irrespective of where the source data comes from, Joiin will bring them together.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
We also have customers who are using some really old AS400 type thing, and they're dumping data into CSV and then uploading into Joiin. So we've got one customer who's got over 50 entities, and I think five of them are on a really old mainframe type approach. And although they are migrating away, but we're able to handle that as well.
Yeah, no, we have in the UAE, a lot of clients are using Tally, which is a very old system. And so the customers that are using Tally, they'll probably want to download it into Excel and upload it into Joiin if they want to have a really pretty, report or consolidation. So yeah, just out of interest, obviously Zoho Books is quite popular out here as well. Do you integrate Zoho Books, or
again currently only via CSV, Excel?
Okay.
But as I was saying to Evan earlier, we are going to be producing an API, and the idea is that you could either write into the API. So what the idea is that we'll allow people to have control of what they're bringing in to Joiin, and you can therefore we'll have a published API, and you can ingest what you want, really. So yeah.
Okay, great. Are there any more questions? Pretty, you mentioned, are the reporting formats fixed, or can the groupings be changed or customized? I think we've covered that, Pretty, I think. Any other questions that anyone else has? I know there's a number of accounting firms, so if there is anyone who has this very specific client-related query, that would be quite good to be covered as well. Yeah,
if not, please reach out afterwards. More than happy to field any further questions post the webinar.
Thank you very much. If that's nothing else, then I think we're ready to wrap up. Any closing thoughts, any closing discounts, anything that you want to wrap up with, Lucian, in terms of, how you can help the people who've joined? Nothing
other than if you get hold of us and want to do a trial, please just mention this webinar. If there's a product fit and you enjoy the trial, then we'll apply a discount of 15% over 3 months for your subscriptions. But as we said, more than happy. We think the power's in the product. So we really encourage people to come and do a trial. And as we said, we're really willing to support and help and guide during that process. But thanks for supporting. Really appreciated.
So I think we have one more question from Nadine. So we need to upgrade to Joiin to be able to see the KPIs, for example. How much would that cost?
Okay, Nadine, Joiin is it's not part of Xero. It's a separate software that plugs into Xero. So just want to make that clear. But it sounds like you're new to Xero, so I'd definitely recommend you reaching out to Harry and to get a free trial, and just to show you how it works, so you can pull out the data from Xero and prepare your reports. That I think that will be quite useful for you. You can obviously reach out to us if you need any help in Xero, obviously. But if it's something reporting related with Joiin, then definitely reach out to them. They're more than happy to help you.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I can see in the chat there's another question. In terms of if you want to get in contact, our website is join.co, or if you would like to send an email to hello@join.co, that will automatically create a support ticket, and I can kind of converse with you through there. But as I can see, I believe Rayhan's putting it in the chat as we speak. So if anyone's got any questions that kind of popped into their head tomorrow morning or whenever, kind of send an email to them. We'll happily discuss further.
Just want to say thank you very much for everyone who's joined. We are recording this. We will be sharing it to everyone who's attended. Like I said, any questions, feel free to reach out to the guys from Joiin. Any questions for us, reach out to us, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one. So have a good day, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for organising, Rayhan.
Thank you.
Harry, thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Take care all.
Bye.
Bye.